Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the NBA slate on DraftKings for Tuesday, November the 27th. We have a 5-game Tuesday slate. I'm going to go through each position and talk about some of my favorite plays at each position on this 5-gamer. The early looks I see, or like my early looks, the plays I see that I really like, the guys that stand out to me the most. Of course, I'll give my core 5 plays, 5 guys I expect to have a lot of exposure to. We will build that core as we go through each position. But yeah, before we do get started, I would appreciate it if you guys would drop a like on the video. It definitely means a lot, and if you are new to the channel, then make sure you click that subscribe button down below, so that way you won't miss out on any of my new videos. So let's go ahead and look at point guard for today. Oladipo not playing today. He would have been our most expensive point guard, so most expensive point guard is going to be Devin Booker at 8,600, facing the Pacers, and I do like Devin Booker here. I like that Isaiah Cannon has been out of the starting lineup lately. We've been getting a lot of Booker at point guard, him handling the ball a ton, which really ups his assist potential. You look at the last few games, has been racking up some assists. We always know the points are going to be there for Booker. Out of his last 10 games, he has had some games with double-digit assists. So just adds to his upside, being able to handle the ball more. We know he's going to pick up a few rebounds, but scoring, that's where Booker really, that's what makes him so good. Makes him so good for fantasy. In this matchup with the Pacers, I expect him to be able to score plenty. I expect this game to stay close. I do like Devin Booker at 8,600. I don't feel like he's a must-play, but definitely a guy that's going to be in my player pool and I'm going to have exposure to. I'd probably play him over Kyle Lowry. I think I'd play him over Mike Conley as well. If I'm going to pay up at point guard, Booker's going to be my guy. But there are some plays we could go to at the mid-range. I think Lonzo's in play, as much as I hate to say it. I played Lonzo a lot this year. Really hasn't worked out well, but without Rondo, I expect minutes to be a lot more safe for Lonzo Ball. I expect the minutes to be more consistent, a lot higher. Last few games, he's played 36, 33, and 29 minutes, 33, 25, and 26 DraftKings points. Lonzo's not a high, massive, safe floor play. When it comes to cash games, you're not getting a really safe floor from Lonzo. But we know if the minutes are there, he has a massive ceiling. Playing alongside LeBron does cap his ceiling a bit. But we've seen triple-double upside out of Lonzo. Even in that game against Cleveland, he had 15, 6, and 7, or 15, 7, and 6, so nearly got a triple-double in that game. Still, we have big upside from Lonzo. I like this game to stack. This game has a lot of good plays in it. Lakers versus Nuggets should be a good game to watch as well. I think Lonzo at point guard in that mid-range, really strong play in my opinion. Dwyane Wade as well. Dwyane Wade coming off a really nice game. I believe it was last game against the Raptors. He played 34 minutes. I believe that's the highest he's played all season. Put up 52 DraftKings points. Don't think you're chasing points here by playing Dwyane Wade. The reason I like Wade today is because Dragic and Tyler Johnson are both out. We should free up some minutes for Dwyane Wade. He should get a lot of good run off the bench. At 5,300, he is a little bit expensive, a little bit more than I would like to pay for Dwyane Wade. But without Dragic, without Johnson, I expect the minutes to be there. I'd be surprised if he plays less than 25 minutes. I expect Wade to play probably like 27, 28 minutes. And if he's playing real well, we could see him eclipse 30 minutes. So at 5,300, definitely like Dwyane Wade. It's close between him and Lonzo. I think I'd go with Lonzo. I feel a little bit safer with Lonzo, but D-Wade still has some upside, especially playing without Dragic and without TJ. He is a strong play, in my opinion, in the mid-range. And then Trey Burke's probably the value guy I like. Either Trey Burke or Moutier. Really getting, between these two, picking the right one's always key. Trey Burke coming off a decent game last game against Memphis where he played 29 minutes, put up 29 DraftKings points. I was on him a ton in that Pelicans game, and he had his worst game by far of his last few. 20 minutes there, just 11 DraftKings points. Probably going to go back to Burke today, especially at 4,700 if I need value. He makes a lot of sense. Same with Moutier. You never know what you're going to get from Moutier, but he's very efficient when he's on the court. At least when it comes to fantasy, he's a good point per minute player. Just 23 minutes against Memphis last game, but still put up 30 DraftKings points. That game against the Pelicans where Trey Burke really struggled, Moutier played very well and saw a lot of minutes, 28 minutes in that game, 46 DraftKings points. If a lot of people are going to play Trey Burke today, I think it definitely makes sense to play Moutier in tournaments to get a little contrarian because both guys have shown upside. Both guys pretty much negatively correlate with each other. If Burke's having a big game, it's probably because Moutier is struggling. If Moutier's having a really big game, then Burke's probably not doing very well. I don't think you want to play like both of these guys in the lineup. You either want to go to one of them or go to the other. Kind of pick which guy you like the most. And also Justice Winslow, I guess, for value. Wayne Ellington as well. Miami, just in general on this slate, definitely a team we're going to want to look to because they're playing up in pace against the Hawks. They're going to be without two of their guards, so they're going to be thin. Going to have to give guys minutes. I expect Winslow to get some good minutes off the bench. Wayne Ellington has been starting. I expect him to continue to start, continue to see minutes. So 42, 4,100, both value plays you could consider. But let's go ahead and move on to shooting guard now. And at the top of this position, I love Jay Rich. He is 7,400 against the Hawks. This is just such a good spot for Josh Richardson. Without Dragic, without Tyler Johnson, I expect him to be handling the ball a ton. I expect him to play massive minutes. Jay Rich pretty much giving us a 30-point floor this year. And without Dragic and TJ, he has a big ceiling, definitely has 50-point upside. And especially in this matchup against the Hawks, up in pace spot, the Heat are going to be playing a lot faster in this game, or they're going to be playing up in pace, going to have opportunity for more possessions going up against the Hawks. So love Josh Richardson. Probably would take the savings off of Booker and go down to him, and would much rather play Richardson over Jamal Murray. Richardson, probably one of my favorite plays on the slate. But other shooting guard plays, Tim Hardaway seems underpriced at 6,500. He's been playing pretty poorly lately, has not been great, but 6,500, definitely think that makes him playable. Ronnie Mcgruder is a value play I like at this position. You can play him at small forward. I expect to have a lot of Ronnie Mcgruder today. I expect him to be in a lot of my lineups. He's just too cheap for the minutes he's going to play. Same thing I keep saying over and over, but without Dragic and Tyler Johnson, Ronnie Mcgruder is also going to handle the ball some and is going to have to play minutes. Even though he hasn't been good lately for fantasy when it comes to DraftKings points, I expect a bounce-back game here from Ronnie Mcgruder. It's a great matchup. Love him and Richardson from the Heat today. Probably two of my favorite plays from that team, especially when you factor in McGruder's price of just $4,900. But yeah, I think that's it for shooting guard value. You have Burke and Wayne Ellington, who I don't mind today, that you could play at this position. But let's go ahead and move on to small forward now. So LeBron's at the top. He's 10-9 facing Denver. Obviously, paying up for LeBron's probably going to be something I do today. Not going to include him in the core, but he's going to be a guy I have exposure to. He's really the only stud on this slate. LeBron's the most expensive guy at 10-9. Then the next most expensive is Drummond at 9,600. So LeBron, especially at 10-9, is definitely going to be a guy I get exposure to. In competitive games this year, we're getting massive minutes out of LeBron. Without Rondo, he's handling the ball a lot more. I expect a big game from LeBron. I think he gets easily probably 55 DraftKings points. And we know he has that massive ceiling, that big upside that we love. And for what it's worth, earlier this year against Denver, I can imagine this was a competitive game. He played 34 minutes, 68 DraftKings points, had a triple-double earlier this year against the Nuggets. Would not be surprised if we get another triple-double out of LeBron today. So paying up for him is definitely going to be something I do. And a lot of lineups, not going to include him in the core, but I'm for sure going to have plenty of exposure to LeBron today. But other small forward plays, really not a ton stands out to me here besides the guys I've mentioned. Like Kawhi at 9,400 against Memphis, I will probably be avoiding today. I'd just rather get up to LeBron. I don't want to pay for Kawhi today when LeBron's just up there in price, and I feel a lot better going up to LeBron and just a better game. Tim Hardaway, I like. You can play him at small forward. Kyle Kuzma's kind of been struggling lately, but he seems underpriced at 5,200 in that game. I do like Kyle Kuzma at small forward if you want to play him here. And then you have Mcgruder you could play here. You have Wayne Ellington, I think, is eligible at this position. Or not Wayne Ellington, Winslow. You could play a small forward if you like him. I do like him coming off the bench in this game. Tyreek Evans probably going to start again for Oladipo, and he gets a matchup with the Suns, so definitely in consideration. Probably not going to be a guy I go too heavy on because Tyreek Evans really hasn't been good lately without Oladipo, and the minutes really haven't been through the roof. But he's 5,200. He's relatively cheap. I could see going there, but probably going to be someone I avoid today. So let's move on to power forward now. So at this position, besides LeBron, like Kawhi, I don't see myself getting a lot of exposure to. Blake Griffin at 9,300, I honestly would probably play over Kawhi, but I don't see myself going too crazy on Blake Griffin today, even though I do like the price tag and I like the matchup. Really at power forward, I think the mid-range is where I'm going to be going a lot today. I really like Jaren Jackson, 5,800. I always like playing this guy in tournaments because he's relatively low owned, it seems like, every slate. The dude just has massive upside. As long as he can stay out of foul trouble, the minutes should be there for Jaren Jackson. He's played 30 and 35 minutes in the last two games, 38 and 43 DraftKings points. Dude's going to score when he's on the court. He's going to grab rebounds. You see right here the blocks. This dude can block a ton of shots. 7 blocks his last game against the Knicks, 3 against the Clippers, 4 against Dallas, 5 against the Jazz. Especially if you play on FanDuel and Yahoo, where I play a lot. Blocks are key on those 2 sites. They are worth 3 points, so that's 21. If you get 7 blocks out of Jaren Jackson, that's 21 points on Yahoo and FanDuel. So those defensive stats really add up when you play in there. On DraftKings, getting the double-double bonus, possibly the triple-double bonus as well. I know triple-double is probably unlikely for Jackson, but could definitely get a double-double. He can rack up the points and rack up the rebounds. At 5,800 against the Raptors, I do like Jaren Jackson a lot. Probably a guy I would avoid in cash games, but for tournaments, going to be a guy I'm going to be way over the field on. If he's going to be low owned today, I'm going to have him in a lot of lineups. But power forward's probably it for me. Like, the value plays are thin. Dwayne Dedmon's been starting, but his minutes have been trending down lately. I imagine he probably guards Whiteside, and they're going to need him to guard Whiteside, but his minutes have been so inconsistent lately. The Hawks are not really a team I like to attack for fantasy because they just play so many dudes that it's really kind of a nutcase trying to figure out that rotation. So even at 4,300, Dedmon's probably going to be a guy I avoid. So I think that's it for power forward. Let's move on to center now. There are a lot of guys I like at this position. So Drummond up top against the Knicks, definitely, I mean, you have to like this spot here against Cantor. Cantor's not the best defender. He's a good rebounder, but not the best defender. I'd expect probably a 20-20 game out of Drummond. Would not be surprised if he gets one here. At 9,600, though, it's going to be hard to get him in a lot of lineups because I think I'd rather get up to LeBron for a little bit more, for like 1,300 more. I'll have exposure to Drummond, but definitely not going to be like a core play for me. Probably the core play for me at this position is Nikola Jokic. He's only 8,800. He's $800 cheaper than Andre Drummond. He's in a great matchup against the Lakers. Love this spot for Jokic. His price is starting to trend down because the production has been bad lately. So maybe that'll keep people off of Jokic. I expect him to play big minutes here if this is a competitive game. Not that the Lakers have Tyson Chandler. They usually always have a big on the floor, whether it's JaVale McGee or whether it's Tyson Chandler. Usually one of those guys on the floor at all times. So I expect probably 30-plus minutes out of Jokic here. The game's competitive. I'd expect a big game from him. Earlier this year against the Lakers, he did play 32 minutes and put up 45 DraftKings points. Not a great game from Jokic. Did have 24 and 11 with 3 assists, a block and a steal. I feel like we got like a 40-point floor in this matchup for Jokic, and we know the ceiling is definitely there. People are going to shy away from Jokic because he's been bad lately. I'm going to be on him a ton. I'm going to have a lot of exposure to Jokic. I think this is a get-right spot for him. I think we see a big game from him tonight. And then my other favorite center play is Enes Kanter. I love Kanter here at 6,800 against Detroit. The spot where Kanter is going to have to play minutes. They're going to need him to guard Andre Drummond. He's been starting these last few games, and the minutes have been pretty consistent. Those 2 games against Boston and Portland, not heavy minutes there, mid-20s in minutes, but against the Pelicans, he played 33 minutes. Against Memphis, he played 41 minutes. I'm not sure if that game went to overtime. I imagine it did. Got 41 minutes out of Kanter there. We know Kanter's a guy that very productive when he's on the court, grabs rebounds, scores. Had 21 and 26 against Memphis, just massive game from Kanter. 17 and 12 against the Pelicans. I'd be very surprised if Kanter does not double-double here. He's going to be under the rim, banging down low with Andre Drummond a lot in this game. Going to have a lot of opportunity for rebounds. I expect him to obviously be able to score as well. At 6,800, dude just has so much upside where he could absolutely crush value on this price tag. So love Kanter at center, love Jokic at center. 2 of my favorite center plays overall. And then if you want to go cheap, I do like Miles Turner. He's only 5,500. Without Oladipo, Turner does see a bit of a bump in usage. In these last few games, he's been playing pretty well without Oladipo on the court. Great matchup for him against the Suns. Definitely like Miles Turner as a value play at center if you're trying to go cheap here. But I think that's it for center. And I think that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it did help you. If you enjoyed, just make sure you click that like button. I would appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already. And if you do have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. Or you can leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, good luck tonight, guys. Really appreciate you watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.